Yesu niwe wako kabisa, ndipo patakuwapo pendo nyumbani. Nitakaa salama, sitaifanya dhambi, nitabarikiwa tu panapo pendo, panapo upendo. Siku zote salama panapo pendo.
Asante Choristers. Tuamini na tuombe ili nitapata nafasi nikaribishe mnenaji wa siku ya leo. Ujue tumeanza siku ya Family Life Week of Prayer. Tuamini na tuombe. Kristo Baba na Mungu wetu, mara nyingine tuaja mbele zako jioni huu Mungu wetu kwa wingi wa shukrani, kwa maana wewe ni mwaminifu. Asante Mungu wetu, tunaomba msamaha wa kipekee ili ombi, dua na sala zetu iwe kikamilifu kwa kiti chako. Asante Mungu wetu, muumbaji wetu. Wakati huu tunataka kupata nafasi mbeleni mwako. Tunaomba Roho wako Mtakatifu iwe pamoja nasi. Zaidi yote Mungu wetu, tunakabidhi mtumizi wako mbeleni mwako. Umtumie jinsi ambao umeona ni vyema. Hata wale wanatutazama Mungu wetu pia tunakabidhi mbeleni mwako. Watendee sawa sawa na mapenzi yako. Asante Mungu wetu, sababu tumeomba kupitia jina la Bwana Yesu Kristo, tumeomba na kuamini. Asante. Kila mmoja mpate nafasi. Nitachukua nafasi ya kipekee sababu siku ya leo tunaanza siku ya Family Week ya maombi. Ningewasihi kila moja, ukiwa unajua kuna rafiki, mkaribishe ili pia apate mafundisho. La sio hivyo, nitachukua nafasi ya kipekee ili nikaribishe Chief Elder ili anene na watoto wake. Nami pamoja na nyinyi, nani wanasaidia kumkaribisha? Asante Chief, karibu.
Asante Elder. Bwana wa Mungu na wasalimu, hamjambo. Bwana asifiwe. Tumefurahi katika siku ya leo. Naamini kuna wale ambao mko hapa asubuhi kwa ajili ya mafundisho ya Deaconry, na tumekaa hapa kiasi mpaka karibu saa 8. Na wakati wa leo jioni vile tulitangaza tutakuwa na kipindi cha Family Life, na msangao ni kwamba hata ingawa tu wachache ni mambo ambayo yametangazwa, lakini ajabu ni ya kwamba sio rahisi kupata watu wakikucha wanaposikia kuna mafundisho kama haya. Na tujue ya kwamba haya mafundisho ndio yatakao tusaidia pamoja na familia zetu ili tuishi tunapojiandaa kwa ajili ya kurudi kwa Yesu mara ya pili. Family Life Week, mgeni wetu anaitwa Pastor Rono, lakini hajafika, na kwa hivyo mizigo yake imefika, ako njiani, lakini lazima tuendelee na mpango. Atatupata mahali tumefika, aendelee. Kwa hivyo kufikia kesho au kesho kutwa atakuwa pamoja nasi na ataendelea jinsi Mungu atamtumia katika wiki hii yote. Wiki yetu ya Family Life kitabu ambao tumetumiwa kinasema ya kwamba family ndio sana tuna focus, family, imani, faith and focus in a digital world. Tunapoangalia wiki hii tutaangalia juu ya family zetu in this digital world. Zamani hatukukuwa na vitu inaitwa digital, lakini wakati huu tuko na kitu inaitwa digital world, ambayo kila kitu iko katika simu yako kwa ya mkononi. Watu wanatembea wakijua ni yapi yanayoendelea ulimwenguni kote. Akiwa na simu yake mkononi, anaweza kujua ni nini inaendelea. Kwa hivyo in the digital world, how are our families going to survive? That's the biggest challenge that families are facing. Siku ya leo utangulizi inasema a time for every purpose. There is a time for every purpose. Alafu nasema the topic inasema reclaiming God's rhythm in the digital age. Reclaiming God's rhythm. Rhythm ya Mungu ni gani? Nilipoangalia rhythm hii kwa Kiswahili ilikuwa nasema kudai tena mitindo ya Mungu katika enzi hii ya kidijitali. Mitindo ya Mungu. Tunataka kudai mitindo ya Mungu katika digital world. Sababu kuna mambo mengi yamebadilika kwa sababu ya kukuja au ya upuni ya digital world. Anasema hivi, we live in an age, beloved, where we are more connected than before. Katika simu yako unaweza kujua ni nini inaendelea China. Zamani haikukuwa hivyo. Kwa hivyo mwandishi anasema ya kwamba we are now more connected to the world at large more than before. And yet our families are falling apart because of those connections. We are connected, yes, but the families are falling apart. We can FaceTime. Nilipoangalia FaceTime wanasema FaceTime is also video chat. Watu wanakaa katika video chat katika simu. Mtu anaweza kukaa kwa simu yake ana video chat na mtu wako US. Lakini yule mtoto wako iko karibu na wewe, ujui hata shida zake. There is no connection na watu ambao mnakaa na wao kwa nyumba. Lakini we are so connected to the people outside where we stay in the house. Mtu anaweza kuwa hooked to the phone for more than 3 hours bila kujua ni nini inaendelea kwa nyumba yake. Hata nyinyi ni masaidi, mnajua hayo ndio tunafanya nyumbani. Watu wanaweza kuwa wawili, hata mimi na mama nyumbani. Saa ingine atusungumusi. Kila mtu anashughulika na hiyo kidunde kinaitwa simu. Nil conversation. Lakini kila mtu anakasia ni nini hako kwa simu. Hiyo inaleta shida sana. The enemy ambaye ni shetani amegundua. He has taken this very tool that was meant to bring us together. He is using it now, hiyo simu, kufanya nini? Anasema he has turned it into a chains to separate us. Amekileta kitu hicho kipate to separate. Anasema hivi, he has made us slaves to notifications on the phones. We are more concerned about what is happening on the phone than what is happening around us. Anasema hivi, he has made us servants to the screens. People are hooked to screens. Screens inaweza kuwa simu, inaweza kuwa tablet, inaweza kuwa anything. Ukiangalia watoto, sijui kwenu, mimi sina mtoto mdogo, lakini niligundua my grandchildren walipokuwa kwangu, kila mtu wako na tablet yake. Na hapo tablet, huyu mtoto anaweza kaa hapo the whole day. Unaweza kwenda mpaka Kisii urudi umpate hapo kwa hiyo kitu. Siku hizi you don't need even to have a maid. If you have that, can you catch it? Kanaweza to take care of the baby. You don't need a maid. Because mimi niliona watoto wanakuwa kurudi kumtoa hapo aende kulala ni shida. Hata anataka kulala na hako kakitu kwa kitanda. Wanaenda wanaweka ndani, wanasima taa, lakini ndani ya blanketi wanaendelea na hiyo kakitu. So it has become so connected to us, including our children. to the extent that they don't care what is happening around them. And by the way, not only them, even us as parents. That's another danger about it. The parents, we are also connected so much. We have become prisoners of the digital world. Prisoners. Munaweza kutoka hapa na mtu ndani ya gari hata matatu. Huyu mtu wako kwa simu, ajui ni nini naendelea mpaka mufike Kisii. Kila mtu wako kwa simu yake. By the way, did you know, some people, even when accident happen, they don't know what really happened. Sababu they were on phone. Ukimuuliza, what did you see? I don't know. I found myself in hospital. The reason why is finding himself or herself in hospital, hakukuwa na habari ni nini kilichokuwa inaendelea. Hana wakati wa kuangalia mbele tunaelekea wapi. Lakini we have become prisoners of the gadgets. Sasa, but we have good news. We have good news. The same God who set the rhythm of the universe, who established the day and the night. He established summer and the winter. He set times for planting and harvesting. He also gave us the Sabbath. That's God. He set times for all those things. He concludes by saying, this same God has given us a blueprint for ordering our lives even in the digital age. Bwana asifiwe. Mungu huyu hajatuacha hivyo tukae na kupotea katika digital world. He wants us to reclaim his order, how we are going to live. Now today's message is entitled Reclaiming God's Rhythm in the Digital World. How do we reclaim? Mwandishi anasema hivi katika kitabu cha Ecclesiastes. Isipokuwa msomaji hayuko, nani anaweza kutusomea Ecclesiastes? Mko na simu? Mtu atusomee Ecclesiastes 3. Ukisoma Ecclesiastes 3, chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. God has given us a lot of things there in Ecclesiastes 3, 3 verse 1 to 8. Inasema kuna maneno hapo mengi hapo kwa Ecclesiastes. Unaweza kutusomea Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 kuendelea. Ecclesiastes 3 inasema nini msomaji kama hako mmoja? Inasema
to everything there is a season.
Yes.
And a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born.
A time to be born.
And a time to die.
A time to die.
A time to plant.
There is a time to plant.
And a time to pluck up that which is planted.
To harvest.
A time to kill.
A time to kill.
And a time to heal.
And a time to heal.
A time to break down. And a time to build up.
Yes.
A time to weep. And a time to laugh. A time to mourn. And a time to dance. A time to cast away stones. And a time to gather stones together.
Right.
A time to embrace. And a time to refrain from embracing.
Yes.
A time to get. And a time to lose. A time to keep.
Yes.
And a time to cast away.
Yes.
A time to rend. And a time to sue. A time to keep silence.
Yes.
And a time to speak.
Okay.
A time to love.
Yes.
And a time to hate.
Yes.
A time of war and a time of peace.
Amen. Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, God gave him this message that this is a God who sets times. He sets times and seasons for everything under the sun. Chapter 1, verse 1 hiyo, verse 1 inasema, to everything there is a season. God has set seasons for everything. In order for us to live well as children of God, we must realize the seasons of God. A time for every purpose under the sun. Sasa nasema hivi, the first thing Solomon has established, beloved, is that there is a divine order of life. God has given us a divine order. And if we live by this order, then we shall live according to the order of God in times, the way He has set His times and seasons. When God created the world, He didn't just put things anyhow. He put it He did not put them randomly. No, he set things in order. He set the sun, he set the firmament, and then he set the stars in order. Then he says, he set those things in the firmament, not because of anything, because he's a God of order. He does not like confusion. Now, he says, but we have done, what have we done in our digital age? In our digital age now, we have tried to eliminate seasons. People are not ready to wait for seasons. No. What have they done? We want spring and summer. Spring is a season of time. You can want summer all the year round. People do what? They want to be available 24 hours. People want to be available. But the order of God is not that we be available 24 hours. But us, we want to be available 24 hours. Yes, we want to harvest without even ever planting. We want instant harvest. We want to reap without even sowing. That's in the danger. Now, listen, your smartphone. Najua hivi tunafanyika na smartphone. You understand that your smartphone does not understand seasons. The only person who can understand seasons is you in relation to God, because God has set up seasons. But the smartphone has no seasons. Now, he says, it doesn't know the difference between the Sabbath and the Sunday. It doesn't know the time for family. It doesn't know. It doesn't know. It is us to know. It doesn't know the Sabbath, between the difference between the Sabbath and the other weekdays. No, it is us to know. Okay? Between sleeping and waking, the phone doesn't know. But God does. God does. God knows the times. God knows the seasons. He knows the time to sleep. He also knows the time to wake up. Okay? Then he says, he is calling us back to his rhythm of the system. Yeah. Where he said seasons. If we live according to God's seasons, then we are in order. Then he says, there is a psychologist ambaye anaitwa Sherry Tackle. Anasema hivi, note that when we are always connected on our gadgets, we can become dependent on the validation of others. We want other people to appreciate us, rather than developing a secure sense of self. We have devoted ourselves from developing ourselves. We use other people to prop up a fragile ego. The concept of the psychologist, anasema hivi, we create a false self by waiting for people to confirm. We want other people to confirm us. This dependence makes us being alone uncomfortable. It removes the constant confirmation from ourselves and our colleagues around us. We have gone to the digital. Why did he say that? It is a time to dance. The opposites. In verse 2 to verse 8, I want us to look there, the analysis Solomon is doing. Anasema hivi. Now, watch what Solomon unfolds. He gives 14 pairs of opposites. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to bring, a time to harvest. And then he says, he gives us opposites, 28 different activities that make up the fullness of human experience. He reads those ones. But notice something beautiful here. They are not contradicting one another. When he says there is a time to be born and a time to die, that's not a contradiction. That is a comparison, a completeness, a season that God has set. That when you are born, yes, there is a time to be born. There is a time to die. Yes, there is a time to die. And those times and decisions are set by God. They are complementary seasons that work together to complete, to work out, together to create a complete life. That's how life is. Those comparisons are not a contradiction, but a comparison to create the life. Then he says, there is a time to be born, for example, and a time to die. every family knows about the beginning and endings of everything. We know it. Then it says, but in our digital age, we are lost. We have lost the art of letting things die. We don't want things to die. Including hata mazungumzo kwa mtandao. We leave the mazungumzo even when they are damaging. You always leave them kwa mtandao. Ika hapo. The things never die on the mtandao. We have left ourselves to work on the gadgets all night, all day. The gadgets don't know when is day and when it's light. We never let things die. We never let things sleep. We want them to work all 24/7. That's the paradox about it. And then he says, sometimes, some wisdom means letting the group chat die. Even sometimes, let the group chat die. Now, he says, if it is die, sometimes family health means this device has served a season. We need to, now, it is time is to rest. Unajua, ndio nilisema kwamba, wale watoto, unapowaangalia vile kazi wanafanya na hiyo vitu, they can work on it the whole day. They can also work on it the whole night. Sasa tutoe mawazo kwa watoto, tulete kwetu. Hata na sisi, labda ni kitu inatulazimisha kwenda kwa kulala. We spend a lot of time. A lot of time on the mtandaos. We don't want to give it time to sleep. We want to stay with them. We want to stay with the mtandao all the time, including when we are in church service. Including when we are in church service. We have not differentiated the church and the outside world. When we come to church to worship God, we still have to browse through our phones. Anasema hivi, this speaks. A time to plant and a time to harvest, to black out. It is our culture that we need to plant some things and we give them time to grow. In this digital world, we are talking about people who want instant results. You want the moment you write a message, you want an instant reply. People do that in this life. We want to post a picture and get an immediate likes. You post it in the mtandao and you want people to respond immediately. And we want to send a message and get an immediate response immediately. We want, but family relationship is not like that. Family relationship is not instant. It is something we cherish. It is something we work on. We must work on our relationship. We can't microwave our intimacy. You cannot download a deep connection. We cannot stream authentic love. We must be intentional to do these things. We must be intentional to talk with our colleagues in the house. We must be intentional to sit down with the children and talk with them. We must be intentional to talk with our husbands and wives. We must be intentional to talk with our colleagues in the house, in the church of God, and create relationship. It is not automatic. It is a creation. It is a time, and it grows. It was for their happiness. Here we get a time to weep and a time to laugh. Why? He says that here we get into dangerous territory in digital world. Social media has created a culture where only we highlight only the positive side of our lives. Nobody wants to bring in the other side of us. We always want to show people our side which is positive. They also want to show us the positive side of theirs. We never cry. Moments of sadness is never shared. He says we share our victories, but we mask our defeats. We only share the joys, good things. But listen, family, authentic relationship require both seasons of happiness and cry. So that if your children have never seen you weep, how will they know it is safe to cry in front of you? How? If you have never shown your colleague, if your spouse has never seen you struggling, how will he know that he understands your strengths of struggling? But we always show our victories only. It is the problem with the digital life is that we try to be on time or on it all the time. We try to be the same person in every context. Even when we are supposed to cry, we want to be the same. That man who is always smiling. We never show the other negative side of his every moment. But God designs us for seasons of joy and seasons of sorrow, seasons of strength and seasons of weakness. So the digital world has changed the dynamics of how God wants us to live. He wants us to live as human beings. Even Jesus came. He was Jesus. He did good things. He healed people. He resurrected Lazarus. But Jesus cried. He said tears. So we saw his other side of Jesus. So that's the way God has formulated this world to be. That we know seasons of happiness. There is a time to be joyous. There is a time to cry. There is a time to dance. And a time to cry. And a time to be joyous. So he has said those are the times we need to work on. Then he says there is a time to embrace. And a time to refrain from embracing. What do you mean? What is Solomon saying? There is a time to embrace. Now he is saying physical affection has seasons too. There is a time when you are toddler. Kama mama wako na mtoto. Kuna wakati mtoto anataka kukaa na wewe kila wakati umubebe na utakama muweka chini ataanza kulia. Hiyo ni season. Season ya toddler handling. Mtoto anapokuwa. Lakini ujue wakati season inakuja, mtoto huyu hata kutaka anataka independence, anataka time yake peke yake, hataki umshike. Those are seasons that God has created in us. There is a time for intimate conversation with your spouse, and there is a time for simply being present and being quiet. Si kwa wale wasee mko na family, saa ingine kwa nyumba. There is a time when you want to talk as a family. You talk as husband and wife. That's time for family when you are talking. And at the same time, there is a time when you want quiet environment. Time to keep quiet. Just to sit and keep quiet. Get your time of yourself in the family of God. Just to be present together in silence. But here is what is happening. In our digital world, we are embracing our devices when we should be embracing each other. Tuko pamoja ndugu zangu? We have left embracing one another in the house. We are embracing the gadgets. This is what mwandishi anasema hivyo. We have left embracing one another. Instead of embracing each other, we are embracing the devices. And we are distancing ourselves from the ones we love and drawing near to the gadgets of the things we don't even see. People who are far, we have left the people who are near us to embrace them in such a time like this. To talk, to draw near. Leadership, there is a research which was done, and it says like this. A creative leadership, he found that families who established a device-free zone. A device that you create a free zone where there are no devices. What happens there? He says, times and space where no digital devices are allowed. They have reported a significantly high levels of satisfaction in the family and the connection. They have created seasons to embrace each other. Bwana asifiwe. Katika nyumba yako, katika family yetu, je, uko na season kama hiyo? Yeye anasema ya kwamba ile kitu tunatakana kufanya ni kuweka hizi gadgets mbali na sisi. Simu isiwe ndio inatucontrol. Let us control telephones. Oh no, not telephones, but gadgets. Inaweza kuwa simu, inaweza kuwa kitu kingine. Kuna mama mmoja niliona kwa TV documentary, alikuwa anasema ya kwamba kwa sababu hizi simu zimekuwa so much attached to us. Mama anapoleta chakula kwa meza, kama ni dinner au ni lunch, ameweka chondo, ameweka kikapu kando na meza. Unapokuingia kwa meza kukula, unaweka simu hapo ndani. Hata baba anaweka simu hapo. Kila mtoto anangoja, kila mtoto anakuja anaweka simu yake hapa, naenda kwa meza. Baba akikuja anaweka simu hapa, naenda kwa meza. Tukule sisi sote tukiwa hatuna simu. At the time of eating, there is no phone attendance. Hatuchukui simu wakati wa kula. Huyu mama aliona danger kwa nyumba yake. Akaona watu wake. Saa ingine mkiangalia hata manyumba yenu, kuna family zingine chakula ikiletwa kwa meza, kila mtu anakuja na kata ugali yake, mwingine anaenda kukulia mezani, mwingine anaenda bedroom, mwingine anaenda kona yake, anakula akiangalia simu. Hiyo sijui kama ni kweli. Mumeona hiyo kwa nyumba zenu? Au haiko kwa nyumba zenu? Huyu mtu anatudanganya. Kuna wakati hata katika nyumba zetu simu, mtu anatembea na simu yake. Kama ni chakula na simu iko kando. Kama mkuli kwa meza anakata ugali anaenda bedroom, zile nyumba ziko na bedroom nyingi, unakata ugali unaenda kwa bedroom yako na simu yako. Because we have become so much attached to the gadget, hii inaitwa simu. Lakini mwandishi anatuambia hivi, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. What does he mean? Our families, if we could just learn one principle, what is this principle? It could revolutionize our families. In our digital age, we think we must respond to everything immediately. We feel we are compelled to comment on every post, to answer every notification, to have an opinion on everything. Watu ndani hapa tuko kwa mitandao mingi. Na hiyo mitandao inapoandika, you are compelled to answer everything. Hata wale wanakutukana, wale wanagombana, you are also meant to comment. We are always commenting on things. But Solomon is saying, sometimes most loving thing to do in your family is to put away the phone down and just listen to others. Bwana asifiwe. We need to practice putting the phone away and listen to one another. Sometimes the wisest response to that inflammatory group message is not to respond at all. Let us not be people who respond to everything in the mitandaos. And that's what the digital world is doing. Now, we are coming to the conclusion. Mwandishi anasema hivi. But here is where the enemy has been the craftiest. I don't know what that name is called. Craftiest. Yani amekuwa mchanja kabisa. Amesema hiya. He hasn't given up on us on digital distractions. He's concentrating on digital distractions in the family. He has given us digital distractions, masquerading that it is productive, it is connecting us, it is for us, for the purpose. We scroll our media and tell ourselves that we are connected. We keep scrolling, that you are connected to your people around the world. We binge watch Netflix and they call it family time. People are on Netflix because that is the family time. The text, instead of talking, we are texting to our friends. Even in your own house, you text one another. Sio ni hatari? Muko na mzee hapo kwa room, unamtext. You have avoided talks. Ndio? Kinyi, you text mama, mama texts you, you connect in the house with text messages. Hiyo ndio hatari. Anasema hivi, but Solomon here is saying, a time to every purpose under heaven. That word, time for everything. Every season should have a divine purpose. Every season has a divine purpose. Now, listen to what he's asking. Number one, what is it? Let me ask the church. What is the divine purpose of spending 3 hours scrolling through other people's vacation photos which are on your phone? What is the purpose? Is there a divine purpose? Number two, what is the God-ordained goal of arguing with strangers in comment section in your phone? Number three, what is the heavenly objective? Objective is accomplished by checking your phone 150 times a day. You are on phone, checking messages. What is the divine purpose? Do we get any divine purpose for doing that? That's the question. The answer is Ellen G. White comments as follows. She saw this coming. Ellen G. White saw this time coming. And then she says, angels delight in a home where God reigns supreme. Where God reigns supreme. And the children are taught of reverence in religion. Children are taught about the Bible. And then their creator. Such families can claim the promise. Which is the promise? Them that honor me, I will honor them. That's the promise God has given. Now, what's the solution? There is conclusion. What is the conclusion? Solution to the ditch of families. Solution number one, the daily rhythm for godly people. Make sure that in the morning, there is morning devotion without devices, without the computer. Number two, family meals should avoid screen watching. Family meals when we are eating. Number three, every prayer and reflection, evening prayer and reflection before we sleep should be practiced. Weekly rhythm. Number one. From Friday evening to Saturday evening, we practice letting go of our digital striving, our online anxieties, and our virtual commitments. From Friday evening to Saturday evening, we let off anything to do with our digital strivings, the phones. Let them understand that you are also on Sabbath worship from sunset to sunset. Sunset Friday, sunset Saturday. Our phones must understand we are resting on the Sabbath day. Number three, create a consecrated spaces. If we are to survive in this digital age as families, create consecrated spaces, which are these. Number one, just as a tabernacle, just like the tabernacle, as areas for different purposes, our homes need to be consecrated. Number one, our bedrooms should be sanctuaries for rest and intimacy, not phones. Our bedrooms. Phones should be left in the sitting room. Number two, dining rooms as temples of fellowship. The dining rooms, when we come there, they are temples of worship and gratitude where we share as families. Number three, living areas as spaces for face-to-face conversations where we meet and talk. So, there is Dr. Larry. He researched on disorder, and he found out this. Shows that families who create device-free zones in their homes have children with better sleep patterns. When you have created free zones of these gadgets. These children, they have improved in their academic performances. And their children have strong emotional regulation skills. And the opposite is the same. You can imagine. Now, application, lastly, model Sabbaths. Show your children what it looks like to be. Regularly disconnect from devices and reconnect with God and the family every Sabbath. Wacha kusoesha watoto siku ya Sabato, kazi yao ni kuangalia simu. They must know the difference between the Sabbath and the other days. So the Sabbath, no phones. Number 2, create rituals of transition. Develop family practices that mark movements from digital time to sacred times. So when you are going to the sacred times, people should know we are going to the dining, no phones. We are going to the bedroom, no phone. We are going to the family meeting, there's no phone. If those are done, perhaps. Number 4, for couples, establish communication seasons. Have regular times when all devices are put away and focus solely on each other. In digital world, we need to be careful. Number 2, protect. The bedroom should be a sanctuary for rest and connection, not for changing devices. No. And number 3, practice gratitude. Before bedtime, share the events of the day, the gratitudes that God has done to you. And for children, teach children that just as we have bedtime for our bodies, even the gadgets have bedtime for themselves, so that they know it is time to sleep. The gadgets should also sleep. There is a time for the gadgets to wake up. There is a time for the gadgets to sleep. Number 2, fill in non-digital seasons with activities that build character. Wakati tuko, hakuna phones na hakuna gadgets, create some things that children can do that will build. They should be creative to develop their character and a connection with each other and with the parents. Let the children understand the consequences of digital world and the connection between their digital habits and their emotional behavior. Mwandishi anamaliza akasema ya kwamba tukifanya hivyo, our families will revert back to the God's rhythm of his timing and seasons. So as we close, I want to challenge ourselves to understand that this is a time that we have been challenged. These things don't just come. They come because there is a lot of research that has been found and has come up with these solutions, and why this digital world is coming to spoil our families. If you are not a witness, go and study, even in your own family, what effects that the phones have created in your relationship with your family, with your children, with your spouses. You'll come to realize it is true that we are becoming more apart than being closer to one another. Yeah. Some families go to sleep. Mama naenda kulala na wacha watoto kwa sitting room na gadgets. Watoto hawalali, watoto wanaenda kulala wanawacha mama. Mzee anaenda kulala na wacha mama. Mama anaenda kulala na wacha mzee. There is no time for closeness when people can sit down and talk. Let us purpose to create zones where these phones are not used, because they will not help us to grow in good relationships as a family. They will not help us to create a strong family. They will only destroy our families. But with control and with the help of God, we will control our families and come closer and grow as a family of God. May God bless you all. Can we come and sing together and conclude? We have now finished. Tomorrow we will go to another thing. So wait until tomorrow. May God bless you. Let's stand with a song. Hiyo song tuimbe kitanza ya kwanza na chorus. Ndio tuombe. I don't know what time it is.
vyote ni sawa panapo pendo. Kila sauti tamu panapo pendo. Panapo shule na furaha nyumbani, siku zote salama panapo pendo. Panapo upendo, siku zote salama panapo pendo. Karibie ili tufanye ombi.
Elda Danvas, kuje tuombe pamoja tukianza hii wiki ya maombi. Tukawase simame sisi sote hapa mbele ili tupate kuomba. Shikana mikono. Tutaomba na wasee wa